Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
A salesman at the general store was trying to persuade the redneck to buy a tractor. Well, the farmer said, "I'd rather spend my money on a cow." "But think how silly you'd look riding around on a cow," said the salesman. And the redneck looked at him and said, "Not half as silly as I'd look trying to milk a tractor." Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance on a Thursday. Good morning, good morning. And a good morning to you and your family. Zeb Bell, and this is Zeb at the Ranch for a Thursday morning, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Get ready for winter driving. Now's the time. You better believe it. All 7 locations serving you, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, along with some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them 734-6969. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Well, good morning, sir.
Are you the man?
Yes, sir. I figured I'd do the pledge.
All right, go ahead, sir.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Boy, thank you very much. And right now, let's go to the weather forecast brought to everybody by K&R Rental this morning. Hello, Roger and the crew at 256 South, 300 west of Heyburn. Number to call, number to remember, number to write down, 678-3122. They're open at K&R Rental early in the morning, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, Saturday 7 to 2. And they offer the best in tools and equipment. And if you're in need of tools or equipment, why don't you just give them a call or stop in? They've got all the big top name brands and ready to serve you at K&R Rental, 256 South, 300 west of Heyburn. Number again, 678-3122. Here's the weather.
Make sure you have your galoshes ready, and you might want to make sure you grab out your snow shovels because weather is a-changing. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. Today, not too shabby. Partly sunny skies, a little bit on the breezy side, high of 60. Tonight, more clouds are going to be rolling in, bringing along with it a chance of rain showers, low of 42. Now, tomorrow is the turning of the tide, as it were. We're looking at about a 70% chance of rain showers throughout the day, high of 53. That's going to carry over tomorrow night with a low of 37. Saturday, we have a 70% chance of rain showers in the lower elevations, snow showers up in the higher elevations, high of 44. Snow showers for Saturday night with a low of 29. That's going to carry over through Sunday and Monday. 30% chance of snow showers are in the forecast. Highs are going to be in the mid-30s to low 40s. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Ugly. Ugly. I don't want that kind of a weather forecast. Ooh, K&R Rental bringing you the weather, 256 South, 300 west of Heyburn. Number 678-3122. And believe me, call them for an estimate. You can also find out all about them online. Check it out today. Really good people at K&R Rental in Heyburn, 678-3122. Hey, Merv May, come on in here for a little bit. Let's sell some cattle.
All right. right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32.
That's the chant of the world's best doggone auctioneer right there, Merv May at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call for cattle consignments and sale information, 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy, and all the folks over there. The sale that works for you, Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Sale time 10 a.m. this morning. Let's take a look at some of the cattle we know are coming in today. Tom Gary. Tom, doggone it, I haven't seen you for a long time. Up at Albion, 100 head of good calves coming to the sale. CL Semper. Hello, CL. Up at Tetonia, 35 head of light steer and heifer calves. Jed South over to Rupert. Jed, how you doing? 20 head of calves. Brandon Brackenberry up at Albion, coming off the hill with 100 head of calves. Bill and Josh Reese over at Antelope. Hello, folks over at Antelope, 50 head of calves. Brent Sainsbury of Connor, 30 head of black calves, good calves. Butcher cows coming in from P-Bar S Dairy, Acme Dairy, Antelope Hills Dairy, and TLK Dairy. I'm telling you, 10 o'clock starting time. You better be there at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Sale time today, 10 a.m., 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135, selling $35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
Oh, he does a great. I just love that chant, man. He does cruise through that. Calls will be welcome this morning. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to get into what happened in the last couple of days regarding the Muslim terrorist killer. And I am absolutely shocked and astounded that these words, or Islamic Jihad, have not been used in newspaper stories. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. Don't forget our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459 for all of your heating and electrical needs. And after that weather forecast that Gina had just a moment ago, whoa, sounds like your toesies might get a little cold on the floor. You better make sure your furnace is operating properly and make sure you got all the furnace filters from Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Yep, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. While we have a chance, before we start taking your calls and talking about our first subject, I also want to remind you about our friends at Denny's Restaurant. And they're located at 611 North Overland in Burley. And what can you say more than what I've said? Delicious food. I mean, breakfast, lunch, dinner, anytime, all the time at America's Diner. Great people. The menu is going to knock your socks off. It is absolutely phenomenal. Any choice you make, delicious. At America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, and 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Denny's Restaurant, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Here we go. Now, I've managed to hold on to the last couple of days some of the titles, headline titles in the wonderful newspaper that we have locally, the Times News. And here's one, the one yesterday I commented, I was the first to bring this to everybody's attention yesterday, had a lot of calls regarding this. The headline in the Times News was, 8 killed by New York motorist. Motorist? It was a Muslim terrorist influenced and participating in Islamic Jihad. And the headline in the Times News is 8 killed by New York motorist? Unbelievable. Then, this morning on the front page of our Times News, headline, truck attack suspect charged. Now, I went through carefully all the way through this story that started on page 1 and continued on A5 of the Times News. Not one time is the word Muslim ever incurred in the story, or Islamic Jihad. And I'm wondering, why are we being so careful? Why are we afraid to call it like it is? Why? Give me your thoughts on that. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And like I said yesterday, and I'll stand behind it, I had a lady call me on my cell phone. And she said, well, I heard you bring up the fact that, there was a hate crime in Twin Falls. I said, yes, there was. And I said, I do not bear much credibility to that hate crime, calling it a hate crime, as compared to what happened in New York City with a real hate crime of a Muslim terrorist killer driving a pickup and just slaughtering 8 people and maiming and just absolutely destroying the lives of a dozen others. That's a hate crime. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Well, I'm waiting for your call. Come on, start things off right this morning on a Thursday. I want to remind you about Pomerelle Place. My wife and I went over there and visited with Holly, it's been over a month ago, and I was absolutely amazed at it's such a nice, comfy home place. I mean, Pomerelle Place offers the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably. And if you're living alone as a senior, there's a lot of hazards to worry about, like being lonely, isolation, safety hazards, and injuries, and nobody there to help you. And perhaps poor nutrition or missed medication. Please check out Pomerelle Place, a place for senior living, 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. The number to call, find out more, 677-8212. Really nice people. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox. With the home comfort systems. You check it out today, and you might get up to a $1,600 rebate on a new Lennox system. All you gotta do is call Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459 today and find out more. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, saving you money. All right, your calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Yesterday, I was really, really mad about what happened. And there's certain stories and certain events that take place that I don't care if my personality or my temper shows through, because I was so mad that in our country, the United States of America, a 29-year-old person and has a wife and a small child would live here, reap the benefits of going through a lottery from Uzbekistan to come here to this country, to the land of opportunity, and then turncoat and kill, maim, and destroy people's lives. Yeah, I was mad. I don't make any apologies for that. None at all. This man, an American resident. Now, these are the words that really irk me. He's not an American citizen. He's on a green card basis here. But he's an American resident. He gets basically the same rights as you and I. And yes, they read him as Miranda rights. And this is where I draw the line. How can this person have the same rights as you and you and you over there, and me? This is absolutely ridiculous and asinine. I absolutely would like to see the death penalty imposed on this person. He has lawyered up. I'm afraid now it's going to be an elongated process, and Katie barred the door. I don't know what's going to happen. His affiliation and ties to ISIS, with all the videos and all the instructional information on how to kill, maim, and destroy people. And he sat in that hospital bed yesterday. This is the part that absolutely just tears me apart. It's a gut-wrenching thought right now. This hideous person sat in that hospital bed yesterday, gloating and gleeful that he had taken 8 lives and had hurt and destroyed a dozen other lives. And he asked and demanded, I guess, that some of the hospital workers and or the security staff bring him his ISIS flag so he could put it in the hospital room. At this part of the story, I've got to really watch my verbiage because I tell you what, there are so many things that I would like to see happen to this young man. And they've done some studies, and already investigative studies, and they found out that the guy's wife is not exactly the nice neighborly lady next door. She, according to most reports, the word they used, obstinate. So, I don't know, the American dream. And we give him and allowed him to come here, and he turns out to be a Muslim terrorist killer. Caller, one moment, I'll be right there. Please don't hang up. I got to pay some bills, and I appreciate your call. I want to remind everybody about Dino Septic Service. I've said this from the get-go. They do a job that you and I don't want to do. No, we don't want to do it. We don't want to go out there in the cold and pump those septic tanks. No, we don't want to go out there in the chill and liquid waste removal. No, we don't want to have sewer and drain lines cleaned as part of our daily routine. No, so that's why we call Dino Septic Service. Yes, I'll tell you what, they're great. 436-6526 or in Burley, 678-1638. Doing the job that you and I don't want to do. Dino Septic Service, with that great big truck that has on the side of the door, smells cargo on the way. They're the best. Dino Septic Service. All right, caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. You know that guy that killed that girl up in San Francisco?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're trying to reduce the charge to an accidental shooting.
No, we talked about that the other day on the program, Tony. And if those lawyers push that through the court system and it's an accepted line of defense, it's just an atrocity and an absolute tipping of the scales of justice. It's ridiculous. He shot 3 times, and his absolute brain-dead attorneys are going to use that for defense.
You know, I think the American people have gotten so hardened about this stuff that's going on. They don't care. A lot of them just don't care what happens anymore. And I really feel this is part of the problem we've got.
Do you really believe, and Wheels, watch the feedback just a little bit, do you really believe, Tony, that we've become so hardened that we're not a... what should I say, caring, loving, and yet judicial society? Have we lost all of our rights and wrongs?
I think we have. I think a lot of people have. They've thrown in the towel. We've got so much corruption up there in the White House. Nothing's being done about things that are happening out in the streets by these foreign people that are coming in here.
Yeah.
And people have just thrown the towel in. I really think this is the problem.
Let me ask you this. Now, you used to, please correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you at one time in your life live in New York City?
Well, I lived in the Bronx for a while, and I lived in Westchester County, yeah.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm asking you, I've been back to New York City many, many, many times, and I know the city fairly well. And I think if you were to take a poll of most people on the street, they are absolutely flabbergasted and absolutely shocked that this would happen again in New York City, and the way that it's being covered up by a lot of news media agencies not calling him a Muslim terrorist killer, trying to... NBC, Tony, on the news the other night, they tried to worry more about the Muslims. They were worried about a Muslim black backlash in this country instead of the people that lost their lives and the people that were maimed. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah. You know, there's safety in numbers. Now, these people that are coming over here can do whatever they want, and they know that the hands of the police are tied.
Yeah.
And they can't really go out and enforce the law like it should be.
Yeah.
So the American people figure, hey, the heck with it. I'm not going to be around forever, so whatever happens to this country happens to it.
You know,
I talk to a lot of people when I go down to the mall. And a lot of people are at that point now, especially older ones. They say, hey, the hell with it. I'm only going to be around a short time as it is. So let the younger generation take the beating they've got coming.
You know, I don't know if they've got it coming or not, to use your words, but the younger generation, I don't think, is prepared at all to take the responsibility of trying to run a country when basically they've been nothing more in general, not all of them, because, boy, we got some super young people, but in general, the younger generation is absolutely being led by the hand to do and perform their tasks. They're not able to do it themselves. They haven't got the responsibility or the adult mind to take care of it.
Well, I've been to a lot of foreign countries, and I can tell you right now, I was really glad to get back to the United States.
Amen. Amen. I could not agree with you more.
Once we lose the country, Zeb, that's it.
I agree with you. Thank you, Tony. Always good to hear from you. God bless you, man. Thanks.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Don't forget, we've got a big election coming up this next Tuesday, November 7th, and Steve Orman running for mayor of Burley. And he and his family have been residents of Burley for over 30 years. He's a very experienced leader, manager, and commercial loan officer in the banking industry. He's worked in that industry for over 35 years and very, very committed to community events. He wants to help and serve everybody in Burley, and he has the people skills, budgeting skills. He knows and feels like he could be a good mayor for Burley. Vote for Steve Orman for mayor next Tuesday, paid for by Steve Orman for mayor. Also, John Anderson is running for city council. Yes, sirree, John, for Burley City Council, a 4-year term. And, of course, John has been a past mayor of Burley for 8 years. He knows what makes the city tick. He knows about what they're looking for in the future. His main goal is to keep Burley a great place to live and raise a family. That's right. And John brings to the city council a long history of what has happened and why it happened, and looking to the future. Don't forget John Anderson for the Burley City Council next Tuesday, November 7th, paid for by John Anderson. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, this killer, Muslim terrorist killer, had planned this attack for weeks. Now it's coming out that he had taken his car, and also he had rented a truck earlier, back in October, and had driven the route and had checked out how to make all the turns and everything. This was a pre-planned killing. And another thing that really irks me, and I hope today investigators are somehow going to get inside the walls of his mosque that he lived literally 50 feet away from. He lived next to a mosque, and I don't care if it doesn't sound politically correct. We need to infiltrate and find out more about these Muslim mosques and who and why a lot of the evil coming out their doors. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, don't weaken on this. We need to speak up as a populace. We need to speak out about various issues. We need to let people know that we're not just sleeping at the switch, and let them know we're unhappy about this. Politicians, civic leaders, community leaders, they need to know what the pulse of the community is. And I want to take your call. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't go away. I want to remind everybody about Barry Equipment and Rental. 3 locations. South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue West and Twin, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Hello, Juan and the crew over there. They've got all the Bobcats. Man, they got a whole string of Bobcats over there. New and used excavators for sale or rent, all shapes and sizes. And don't forget they got a special deal. Negative interest on all the Bobcats. That means the interest on a machine is subtracted from the price. Hey, equipment rentals, retail equipment sales at Barry Equipment and Rental. Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Caller, good morning. You are on the air, and thank you for your call.
You're welcome, sir. Yeah, this guy in New York, I feel that everybody he brought over with him, because I was hearing this morning that he brought 20 people with him.
Yep. Yeah, there's an allocation. there's an allocation system, Doug, on that lottery that you can bring basically the remnants or residuals of your own family. I mean, America gave him a chance at a great life with opportunities, and what does he do? He turns into a Muslim terrorist killer.
And that should speak volumes to everybody out there, because when you have an opportunity to better yourself and you want and don't want to, I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So they should send everybody he brought with him, everyone and every one of their offsprings that's been born in the U.S. since he got here, and send them back.
Back to Uzbekistan. I agree with you. You know, Doug, let's talk a little bit about the verbiage here this morning. Let's talk a little bit about the printed words that you won't find in the stories. Let's talk a little bit about the fear-mongering by the networks and the news media. Let me ask you very bluntly. It's not Methodists, it's not Mormons, it's not Lutherans, it's certainly not Presbyterians, but why is the news media such a coward en masse to mention that this is a Muslim terrorist killer?
Well, the Democrats and the Muslims are buddies. They get, I mean, the Democrats were slave owners years ago. Now, the Democrats don't own slaves, but the Muslims do, and the Democrats support the Muslims. So let's call a spade a spade.
You know, there are people, Doug, that absolutely in the news media and also right here in our communities, you know this is true, that, we don't want to make anybody mad. We've got a lot of the refugees here that are Muslim. Well, we certainly don't want to make them feel like they're not wanted. Why? I mean, I am not about to pull punches. I'm not about to write a headline that comes up with some goofy statements like the Times News did, like 8 killed by New York motorist. I mean, that word motorist, it could have been anybody getting on a freeway and having an accident. This was 8 killed by a Muslim terrorist killer. That's what should have been in there.
Well, the New York Times or the Times News is trying to wait for all the facts to come in. Like, he had a Muslim flag in the pickup. He had notes in there claiming loyalty to ISIS. You know, don't confuse them with the facts, Zeb. Their mind's already made up.
Boy, you're not kidding about that. No, I'm really upset about the lack of telling the truth, and this started coming out a little bit yesterday. I give credit to quite a few of the Republicans for standing up and saying, wait a minute. And some of the leadership of other organizations that were interviewed on talk shows, they brought this up yesterday also about, hey, let's call it and tell it like it is, because it's high time, past time, that we started thinking of the United States citizens rather than all these other people coming in on these different lottery immigration programs.
Exactly. That's exactly it. It's an opportunity of a lifetime to come to a country that allows you to worship your God, allows you to pursue whatever makes you happy, to make a living. In other words, it's the freest country in the world, and if it wasn't for America, there would be no freedom. And we give him the opportunity of a lifetime. And this is how they repay us. So this is what we need to do to respond. We need to be strong. We need to send everybody that he brought over back.
I agree, but you know the thing that bothers me the most this morning, Doug, and Wheels, we got a little feedback. I don't know if it's a bad phone line or whatever, but he's sitting in a hospital room right now, right this very minute. And he is, like I used the words, and these were words that were used yesterday by a couple of the networks that had the guts to report the story the way it was. He is gleeful and giddy for what he did, and he only wishes that he would have killed more, and that's what he has told the investigators.
Well, let's see how giddy he is when they drop him down to and I think electric chair or lethal injection is too kind. I think that man needs to be hung.
I can't think of anything that would be bad enough, if you will, to punish this man. I do know and I do believe that the good Lord above is going to take and really punish him for eternity. That's the only hope I have for complete punishment for what he did.
Exactly. When your God asks you and is happy with you, when you run down and kill innocent people, then your God you're worshiping is the devil.
Well, I am never on this program, and no one is going to be allowed to affiliate Allah Akbar with our God that we worshiped and compare the two and say they're one and the same. I will cut people off the air if they come up with that stupid analogy.
Well, like CNN,
yeah,
when they reported it, they said he was hollering "God is great" in Arabic.
Yeah.
I thought, boy, you boys are carrying water for the Muslims.
There you go. Doug, I appreciate your call. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it, and have a great day.
Okay. Hey, everybody, let's remember our senior centers. We're coming up on the giving season, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Let's do what we can. Give them a gift. Whatever you can do, let's help our senior centers.
All right, Doug. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Bryce Morgan is running for Burley City Council next Tuesday, November 7th, the election. Don't forget to go vote. And he's a young man that absolutely has his eyes focused on helping the city of Burley and helping it grow with great management. He has a master's degree in business administration and a bachelor's degree in accounting, and he's worked the last 14 years in the transportation industry, a fiscal conservative, and believes in keeping family business and government out of debt. Don't forget, next Tuesday, November 7th, vote for Bryce Morgan for Burley City Council, paid for by Bryce Morgan. All right, calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Once again, Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox with their home comfort systems. They're waiting to serve you. The weather sounds like it's going to get a little gnarly out there, and you can stay inside, comfy inside, and might get up to a $1,600 rebate on a new Lennox system. Call Ramsey Heating and Electric today at 678-0459. Caller, good morning and thank you.
Hey, Zeb, thanks for taking my call. You know, there's two parts of my little statement here. One, they should just take this guy, drain him all the information they can out of him, and then publicly shoot him and let it be known that we're not going to be messed with. But the problem is we got such gutless turds in office right now that he's going to sit in prison and he's going to cost us $250,000 a year because of what he did.
I totally agree with you, and I think the cost factor that you threw out is far too low. I think you're looking at much more money to house and protect him.
A lot more money, but I want to be somewhat optimistic that we're not that dumb.
Well, we are that dumb because he's been appointed a public defender, and this public defender is going to cost a lot of money. The court trials are going to cost a lot of money. The security is going to cost a lot of money. The elongation of going through a court trial is going to cost a lot of money. You're not talking $250,000. You're talking millions out of your pocket and my pocket.
Yeah. I meant when they put him in prison, it's going to cost, because he's going to rot in prison. He's never going to see a death penalty. He's not going to see nothing. They're going to litigate this to death.
Well, and that's unfortunate because, quite frankly, I'd like to see the most heinous. I know I sound very vindictive. Yes, I am. Because I'll tell you one image that stays in my mind from what I saw right after this crime happened the other night. I saw the image of that school bus ripped almost in half and those special needs students being carried off that bus. I saw the bodies laying on the street that were bicyclists that were enjoying a nice fall afternoon, and their lives were taken and many were changed forever. And I have no sympathy whatsoever for this Muslim terrorist killer.
Oh, no, I think we just drag him behind the truck at a very slow roll so he gets to enjoy every bump and crack in the pavement.
I'm not going to argue with you at all.
For the New York mayor to say that we're politicizing it, those guys just make me sick because right after that Las Vegas shooting, they were all politicizing that, and they're still politicizing it today because of what Chuck Schumer was saying, right, is he's trying to defend himself. All he's doing is politicizing it.
No, I have no argument with anything you've said this morning. I absolutely agree with you, and thank you for your call. Don't make yourself a stranger. Call in more often. Thank you much.
Hey, thanks, Zeb.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I lost something in here. Deanne, I need you to come by quickly and help me, if you would, please. I seem to have lost a paper about the Bennett Boys auction that's coming up this weekend, and I can't find it. But calls are welcome and appreciated, 436-2244. Want to remind you, too, that Ralph Carlson is running for the city council. And don't forget to be sure and vote next Tuesday, November 7th. Ralph Carlson, candidate for Burley City Council, a man that understands how businesses work, and he also understands about a growing community like Burley is and the challenges ahead. He understands and knows about zoning restrictions and, of course, utilities, street and recreational facilities. And he wants your vote so he can help the growth in Burley. Ralph Carlson, candidate for city council, paid for by Ralph Carlson. Caller, go ahead, please.
Hello, Zeb. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Number one, how can they call Allah Akbar a God? He's got to be the disciple of the devil himself.
I'm not going to get into the religious values of why or why not. All I'm going to say is I get so sick and tired of the protecting and the shielding of the words Islamic Jihad or Islamic terrorist or Muslim terrorist killer. The news media seems to shy away from it because they're afraid and they're worried that, oh my, it might not be politically correct with the Muslim personnel that live here in this country.
Oh, I agree with you 100%, Zeb. You keep up the good work. You're a fine man, and you're doing the best you can.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate everything you guys do down there.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you for your kind words. Appreciate that.
Have a good day, Zeb.
That's the one thing I will not do on this program, ever. And believe me, we get these little notes or we get these little calls about, oh, well, you better not do that anymore. You're upsetting so-and-so, or you shouldn't. Listen, I told you yesterday, and for those that know me, I am not about to back up and change the verbiage or shelter something when it's not the truth. I'm not going to do that. We have a problem in this country right now, a huge problem in this country with illegal immigration. Let's call it what it is, illegal alien immigration. We have a huge problem of refugees coming into this country, and right here in this area, that we really don't know who they are. Don't give me this vetting process. No, don't go there. When the powers that be are sitting there scratching their heads this morning about vetting and knowing more about these people and saying, well, they don't have a county courthouse that we can go get the information from, so I guess we're just going to have to take their word for it. Don't give me the vetting process is a confirmed process. And then these people become radicalized and turn on a country that has offered them hope and dreams for the future for their family. And they turn into killers and destroyers of human lives. Don't give me that. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, it's really funny that the naysayers, as I've said this before on the radio so many times, they are, let's be blunt, gutless. Absolutely gutless. Many of these people will call me on my cell phone after the program and start chewing on me, which, with my German temper, quite frankly, doesn't last very long. Or they'll send me emails, but they don't have the nerve, or, like I said a minute ago, the guts, to call during the program. Oh, well, they're afraid somebody might recognize their voice. They're real courage people, aren't they? Really courageous. Don't forget the Bennett Boys Auction Service with Penny and Courtney Honhorst auction going on over in Wendell, 11 o'clock this Saturday, November 4th, and it's located at 3012 South, 2200 East. Oh, look for the signs for the Bennett Boys Auction. This is going to be a neat sale. They got a lot of neat stuff. Sheep wagon, livestock equipment, sporting items, guns, tractors, antique farm equipment. Holy moly! Shop equipment, tools, antiques, lawn and garden items. Don't miss this sale. Put on by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. And they, of course, no sale. Too big, no sale, too small. For the Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Joe Bennett, give him a call. 539-0111. Bennett Boys Auction Service sale this Saturday in Wendell. Don't miss it. We're going to go to the weather forecast quickly, and then I'm going to take some more of your calls. And the weather brought to you by our dear, dear friends at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. I've said it a long time, and for my friends, they know I'm telling the truth, that she really helped me. I had some problems with my right ear and the hearing in my ear, and thank you to the lovely Dr. Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology, and believe me, they're the best. Right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, the number to call, 312-0957. Dr. Christine Pickup, set up an appointment today. She knows hearing and sound. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Make sure you have your galoshes ready, and you might want to make sure you grab out your snow shovel because weather is a-changing. Here is your weather forecast for Zep at the Ranch. Today, not too shabby. Partly sunny skies, a little bit on the breezy side, high of 60. Tonight, more clouds are going to be rolling in, bringing along with it a chance of rain showers, low of 42. Now, tomorrow is the turning of the tide, as it were. We're looking at about a 70% chance of rain showers throughout the day, high of 53. That's going to carry over tomorrow night with a low of 37. Saturday, we have a 70% chance of rain showers in the lower elevations, snow showers up in the higher elevations, high of 44. Snow showers for Saturday night with a low of 29. That's going to carry over through Sunday and Monday. 30% chance of snow showers are in the forecast. Highs are going to be in the mid-30s to low 40s. That is your weather for Zep at the Ranch.
Wow. She does a good job on the weather, but I didn't like what she said. My goodness. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids with Dr. Christine Pickup and the entire crew, including the new member, Katie Bingham, over at Mount Harrison Audiology, new patient care coordinator. Call today for an appointment, 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Another little story that this kind of piqued my interest a little bit this morning. It was kind of a passing, quickly story amidst all the other stuff that's on the air. Michelle Obama is back in the news. Oh, wow. As if I really care about Michelle Obama. But it's what she said. She was at kind of a meeting, and it was on a TV show, and she started bashing men in general. Yeah, Big Mama Obama, bashing men in general, and saying that women are making men feel that they're entitled. And I thought, what does she mean? You know, like women are giving us the right to be leaders? Women are giving us the right to run for public office or something? And there's a lot of women. I go back to a lady that I have a lot of respect for, and that's Condoleezza Rice. I really liked her from way back years ago, and I still like her. I think she is absolutely a leader and very knowledgeable. And then when I hear people like Michelle Obama, that ends up 99.9% of the time putting her foot in her mouth, and I think she did yesterday because she said, well, women are making men feel entitled to be the president and or the leaders of our country. And I got to thinking, well, maybe she feels that way because her husband is such a doggone wuss. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. And the number to call is 678-1191. If you got an injury, an accident, or maybe you're healing up from something like maybe a sprain, a strain, or whatever, muscle aches and pains, call them. They know all the exercises with their great physical therapists to help you get back to being you. I know because they help me a lot. And they've got the only hydrotherapy pool around, and it really works. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Call the number 678-1191. All right, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Congratulations to a baseball team. By the way, I want to say this. I am the first to hammer the nail into the coffin of the NFL. I mean it. I, right now, this morning, after their childish attitude and antics with overpaid, underworked athletes that have never done anything in their life for their mankind, I am ready to hammer the nail into the coffin of the NFL. I don't care anymore about them. I'll tell you how bad it's getting this morning. One of their big sponsors, Papa John's Pizza. Papa John's founder, John Schnattner, you've seen him on television with the Peyton Manning commercials, etc. He is going after NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, saying the weak, remember that word, weak handling of the league's national anthem controversy has hammered the sales of his pizza. He said, the NFL has hurt us by not resolving the current debacle to the players' and owners' satisfaction, and he said it's hurting him. The pizza sales and NFL leadership has hurt Papa John's shareholders. Now, when you get people like him condemning the NFL and these stupid, ego-centered players that really don't know Kamir from Sikkim as to why they're taking a knee or sitting down, financially, this is going to I think, wake up the so-called leadership of the NFL. But now, conversely, last night at the opening of the last game, Game 7 of the World Series, wow. I mean this when I say this. I was very proud of the way that they conducted the national anthem with those police quartet singing the national anthem. And if you looked at the cameras down the rows of the players and the managers and the bat boys and everything else from both teams, every single one of them stood. Many were singing the words of the national anthem. God bless Major League Baseball. That was something that needed to be seen last night by both teams, the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Houston Astros. Compliments and kudos to them for acting like proud citizens of this great country, the United States of America. And damn the NFL players for what they've done to disrespect our flag. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, Gina's forecast just a little bit ago, it kind of solidified what I'm going to talk about next. That's winter driving. Yeah. Woo, baby. It sounds like we might be getting some angel dandruff. Well, be ready for wintertime driving by stopping into your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They've got all the tires you need for wintertime driving, like the WinterCat SST, excellent winter traction, or the Terramax HT, low-cost all-season design. I mean, the tires, the tread designs to get you through the snow, the ice, and the muck. And I'm telling you what, they've also got all the tire chains, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, and the very best in brake service. Nobody better than Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. By the way, a quick note. Yesterday, I was very honored to have Kim Lee, the owner of Lee Family Broadcasting, on my program. And he was telling us about how some Twin Falls stations bought a survey, the Nielsen ratings, but they excluded you. That's right, they excluded 24,292 people in Minidoka County and 27,330 people in Cassia County, as if you didn't matter in the survey. And quite frankly, I think it was nothing more than just saying, gee, we're going to kind of cover up the great stations in the Mini-Cassia area and make the Twin Falls stations look like the good guys. And it's absolutely a false rating service. If you're an employer or you're an employee or business owner, whatever, and someone comes to you to sell advertising and they throw a survey that is absolutely inept and false like that Nielsen rating, don't look at it, don't touch it, don't even buy from them. They're trying to feed you false information. Calls are welcome, but we're going to take a break. We're going to send it back over to Wheels. He's chomping on the bit over there to go to the CBS News. We'll be back in 7 minutes. Here we go, hour number 2. Morning on a Thursday. Thanks for tuning in, and we got a lot of things to cover this hour. First and foremost, Zev at the Ranch, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And they tell you, get ready for wintertime driving. That's what the forecast sounded like anyway. So be ready with your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And then also some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Way Services.
You know, these folks are such great people, and the route service where they come by and pick up your garbage, absolutely, I mean, they're right on time. You can almost look at your watch and say, holy cow, they're within 10 seconds of what they were last week. I mean, man, oh man, they are dependable. Dependable. Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Get on the route service, wave goodbye to your garbage. They can take care of it. Western Way Services, 734-6969. Like I say, they're always at your disposal. You know, we've got so many people to say thank you to, and they do a wonderful job. And one of those businesses is, of course, our friends with Forever Green. My goodness, you know what they're going to do right now? This is a great time to call for Evergreen Lawn and Tree Care at 423-6454, and they're getting ready to put your name on the list to hang your Christmas lights. That's right. Very experienced staff that can help out. They design custom fitting light strands to match the specific needs of your house or business. I'm telling you, they really want to give you a quote, a free quote about what they can do to help you. So you don't have to mess with all the hanging of the tree lights for the upcoming holiday season. Call them at 423-6454 for Evergreen Lawn and Tree Care. Really nice people. By the way, too, I want to remind you about Lennox and Ramsey Heating and Electric, and you might qualify for up to a $1,600 rebate on Lennox home comfort systems. All you got to do is check it out by calling Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, saving you money. In just a moment, we're going to gallop over to the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. I know she's waiting patiently. Maybe that's not a good word. And the lovely Kyle is going to be on the phone with us. But I want to remind everybody, too, about Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. And the number right up front, 436-5636. Joel Heward, his family, and his staff, absolutely serving you and your family when there is the passing of a loved one. And time just kind of stands still. You don't remember or know what to do in a short time span. They can, and they will help you with all the arrangements. Always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Call them today, 436-5636, Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Okay, it is time for the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce report. There she is, sitting in her office, looking outside. Wait a minute, what do you mean?
Well, she hasn't called in yet, and I had tried calling over to the chamber, but nobody's answering, and so I just left a voicemail on her main line, so I'm hoping that she will be calling in soon.
Whoa, wait a minute. Why don't you do this? Dial the number again and put it on the air so I can hear it ring, and I'll bet you any money that we're going to get some response this time. Let's just try that quickly, okay?
All right, sir.
You're going to dial 679-4793. Okay, try that real quick. I know you're going to have luck this time. Okay, he's dialing. It's like dialing for dollars. If you can answer the question, you will win 73 cents or whatever. What about it, Wheels? Put it on the air. There we go. There's a ring. And now another ring. Don't tell me they all took off. I don't know where they are.
You've reached the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. For Kyla Sawyer, press.
Oh, I don't want to press any numbers. I don't know where they went. What happened to them? Wheels, what did you do over there?
I don't know if they just went kapoof over Halloween or what happened, but, I mean, I would suppose that they're in a meeting, but...
Well, yeah, but the poor old Zebber's sitting here. Is that phone ringing?
Yes, it is. Hold on.
I bet you that's them. They're embarrassed that they missed the call. Hold on. Good morning. You're on the air. Who is this?
Hold on, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm holding. A live radio I'm holding. Don't make me hold very long. Are they there?
Yes, sir. She called in.
All right. Where have you been? We want an itemized statement and pay $250. Do not pass go. Do not get a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Hi, Zeb. It's great to talk with you. I apologize for calling in late, but we are out in beautiful Oakley, Idaho today. And once a year, we have our Board of Directors retreat. And last year, we were in Almo. This year, we're out in Oakley. So we are over at the Oakley Fire Department. We want to thank them for their hospitality. And we're just having a great time out here. We just recently had the board elections, and we have some new people on our board. And so I apologize. I'm out here in Oakley enjoying the sunshine and the beautiful view of the mountains, and it's just really fun to get out of the office for the day, actually. How are you doing?
Well, I was a little bit sweaty the last couple of minutes because I couldn't find you.
I'm sorry. I know. I feel like I should have reported it, and I apologize for that. But we're having a good time. You know, it's really good. I think all companies and all organizations need to have a retreat at least once a year to kind of get ready for the next year, and that's what we're doing today is just gearing up. We've got some new board members. We sent out a press release yesterday, and we announced it'll be in the newspaper, but Amy Christopherson, who is our current chairman of the board, did win re-election, so she will be on for another 3-year term. And then Dave Westfall from Westfall and Westfall also won for Cassia County. And then for Minidoka County, we have Derek Bedke, and we also have Terry McBride. So we're very happy to have them joining our board of directors. And if you see them, you can wish them a big congratulations because they've got an awesome year ahead, and they are elected to 3-year terms. So
let me ask you.
Excited to have them.
Well, let me ask you this: what are you, as a chamber group, doing at Oakley? I mean, what's the function today?
Well, the function is to get everybody out of their businesses so they can focus on working together as a team. So right now they're running through some, I don't want to say literally exercises, but they're doing some things, icebreakers, that sort of thing, to get to know each other and to be able to work as a team. You know, we really look to them for leadership. These are people in our community that have lived here for some time. Some are new, and they all have different perspectives. So it's important that we all are respectful of each other's viewpoints and also can work together as a team. So we just think it's great when we can kind of get out of the office and have everybody in a neutral location, and we get to see the beautiful town of Oakley. We're going to have some yummy food from Searles here for lunch, and so it's just going to be a good time. We're just anxious to plan and get some things underway for the year 2018, which I cannot believe is not that far away. I mean, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, Zeb.
I know it is. Now, are there any other activities or functions that you want to mention this morning that are looming on the horizon?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I know, first of all, we have to give a big shout-out. There's tons of teams that are heading to the state play-in games this weekend. And some of the other things, I just encourage you to just get onto our calendar because we're getting calls already for all the Festival of Trees that will be happening with Bose Hospital Association. So we just encourage everyone to please get onto the calendar, MinneCashechamber.com, and then you can find out the best information. And I think the biggest thing this weekend is this is the last days for the Haunted Mansions of Albion up in Albion. So if you haven't gotten your scare fixed, that is the place to go, and it won't come around for another year, so this is it.
Okay, and I know it sounds like you're having a lot of fun, and you're already talking about food for lunch. Anything else going on at the Chamber that you want people to...
Come on now, Zev.
No.
I mean, everybody here is always thinking about food.
Absolutely, me too. But is there anything else you want to highlight this morning that maybe people better put on their calendar?
I actually don't have my paperwork in front of me because they kidnapped me for this retreat this morning. But again, the biggest thing I can tell you is just to get on our calendar. We have been swamped with calls. We have a lot of people that are going to be doing food drives and other types of things as we head into the holidays. And those will be going over several days. A lot of them kicked off on November 1st, which, of course, was yesterday. So the best thing I can suggest is really get on that calendar because it has just got a lot of stuff on it.
Okay, very good. Now, don't call this morning, but call tomorrow at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. And what are the many thousands of ways to call you?
One day a year, got to do it.
So. Oh, that's all right. What's the best way to get a hold of the Chamber and ask questions?
The best way is just to go and call us at 208-679-4793. Again, our office is closed today for the board retreat. The staff is here, too. And then also you can always email us. You can email Jackie at MinneCasiaChamber.com. She handles our event calendar. We have a lot of people that stop by with flyers and posters, but if you just want to send us the information via email, that's totally great. Or you can also email president at MinneCasiaChamber.com to talk to me directly.
All right, put the phone down. Go have fun.
I'll try. They're making me work today, Zeb, but thank you.
All right, Kyla. Thank you. Chamber of Commerce, Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, and Kyla, thank you very much. Whew, I was getting worried there for a few minutes that we weren't going to find where they were. Hey, don't forget Dr. Bill and all the great folks over at Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. You know, really, when you're going to have animals, you got to be responsible to make sure they get the best of care and they stay healthy. Well, Dr. Bill and the crew, that's exactly what they can do for your animals. They are a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small. They love them and take care of them all. Absolutely. Really good folks. And Ark Animal Hospital voted Minnecasia's best veterinary hospital for multiple years. Dr. Bill and the crew, hey, they'll take care of your pets and your animals. Whether it's a kitty cat or a great big milk cow, I'll guarantee you they can help. Ark Animal Hospital, 678-1177, with warm hearts for cold noses. Really nice people. And by the by, I also want to remind you that we've got a big election coming up this next Tuesday, November 7th. And John Anderson would like to have your vote for a 4-year seat at the Burley City Council. Absolutely. He's a former member of the AIC, Idaho Cities Association, and was on the board of directors, and a former member of the ICUL, Idaho Credit Union League. And like I said many times, former mayor of Burley for 8 years. Well, he's very concerned about the city. He's very concerned about the infrastructure and the growth and the changes that are taking place, and he wants to help serve on the Burley City Council on a 4-year seat. John Anderson, and he wants your vote November 7th for the Burley City Council, paid for by John Anderson. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up at 9:30, don't forget we've got Rita Ramsey, and we're going to talk politics, etc. I thought right now we'd take a look at some of the games that are going on this weekend in the road to the championship for Idaho high school football. Now, Cary is going to take on Clark Water Springs, and that's going to be at Cary at 5 p.m. tomorrow, okay? And then Dietrich is going to take on Butte County, and that's going to be today at 6 p.m. at Butte County. And if all goes well, we could possibly see a Carey Dietrich championship game. We'll have to see what happens there. Now let's move over and check out Valley. Valley is going to play Genesee. And they're going to play on Saturday at the Kibbe Dome at 3 p.m. Oakley is going to be playing Lapwai at Friday tomorrow, and that's going to be at Oakley at 7 p.m. So Oakley takes on Lapwai tomorrow at 7 p.m. at Oakley High School football field. Moving over now, and if there's any mistakes on these things, the way they were sent to me, somebody correct me. Wheels, did you just say something? I guess not. All right. Declo is going to take on Grangeville this Saturday at 12 p.m. at the Kibbe Dome. And moving now to other teams in this area, this could end up being very interesting. Gooding is going to take on Kellogg Saturday at 1 p.m. at Gooding. And then tomorrow night at 7 p.m., Kimberly is going to take on Snake River up at Snake River at 7 p.m. If Gooding and Kimberly win, then they will play for the semis to go to the state championship. So, I mean, there's a lot on the line this weekend. And, of course, I'm a little biased because my grandson Dawson is the starting quarterback for Kimberly. I won't say any more, except I'm pretty proud. Anyway, and then moving over to Minico, taking on Century tomorrow at Minico at 7 p.m. Good luck to Minico. Go get them. And those are some of the games that are going on in high school football playoffs this weekend. Got time for a call. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's see. Cameron and Siemens Insurance. You know, I had a nice talk with Todd yesterday. They really, really care. They're really involved in helping their clients. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits. The protection for you, your family, and your business. They're dedicated and very responsive to your needs. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Number to call, 436-4424. Let's also, while we're over in that neck of the woods, I want to remind you, too, about Let's Ride. Oh, best thing we ever did. You know, we've had these four-wheelers for over 9 years. I couldn't believe it's been that long. We've really enjoyed them, and Deanne just thoroughly enjoys getting up in the hills and going for a ride. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, and this is where the fun is sold. Absolutely. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. And they've got all the 2018 snowmobiles. Oh, look at that showroom. Look at that showroom. And all the four-wheelers and the side-by-sides. And then over on the other end of the store, they've got that great big, huge accessory department. And then right out behind, they've got that great big, huge service department serving you to keep you running. Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Yep, where the fun is sold. Really nice people. All right, I got time for another call. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you hear, this is a story that I got to get in here today, that black student activists at Columbia University want to defund college Republicans. Listen to this. You think we're not in a racist world that's reversed? The blacks are trying to take over? I'm telling you, listen to this stuff. Black student activists at Columbia University are calling on the university to defund the college Republicans with claims that the Republican views in their college oppose their humanity. According to the Black Students Organization, groups that invite speakers the blacks, deem white supremacists are unworthy of receiving student government money funded by groups' own fees. The argument was made against the Ivy League institution college Republicans following their decision to invite and host outspoken right-wing personality Mike Cernovich and Tommy Robinson, a British critic of radical Islam and founder of the English Defense League. So the blacks on this campus, they are being judge, jury, and executioner, and they're saying that their race wants to see a complete defunding of Columbia College Republicans, no more having any of their speakers or whatever attend the campus. And then they say, according to the Spectator magazine, the black group also called upon other groups to join a Columbia coalition against white supremacy. If you don't think there's trouble in River City, boy, you better check and see where the trombone player fell down. I'm telling you, it's going to get worse. Let's not forget, too, our friends with Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Hello, Jeff Bronson. I'm telling you what, they got a great crew over there. Jeff Bronson is back at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Absolutely at 459 Overland and Burley, and he's pretty doggone proud of the rest of his staff like LeGrand and Morgan and Hillary and Emily and all the others. I'm telling you, it's time to think about getting your house ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. Absolutely. They've got a new shipment of floor covering, carpet vinyl, and luxury vinyl planks and carpeting. Oh, yeah. Great selection. You better get in there today. And the people that work there that I just mentioned, they really, really understand the beautification and decorating of your home. So really get in there and talk to them. Jeff Bronson is back. Good old boy at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. 459 Overland and Burley. You stop in and see them today. Really nice people. By the way, I mentioned this last hour, and I stand behind my statements, and I'm going to take the information with me and my sales staff for this program that it's absolutely idiotic that Minidoka and Cassia counties would be left off of a Nielsen radio survey. And I'm going to tell the truth about this wherever I go, because over 50,000 people in the Minidoka and Cassia County, they weren't worthy of giving their ideas and support of the radio stations that maybe they listen to. So they were obliterated from the Nielsen rating that was paid for by another set of stations in Twin Falls, which I find highly, I'm going to use the word illegal and illicit. And I've got the facts right here. And so any of the prospective clients for advertising that want to know the facts, just get a hold of me and I'll talk to you about it. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's not forget our friends at Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. The number to call, 436-3200. And believe me, they are the only assisted living facility located in Rupert, and they do provide more one-on-one care. Personalized help for the residents there, and they really have an amazing business, if you will, and they want to include your loved one if they're looking for that special one-on-one care. Nice people, and they invite you to come by and take a tour. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Number again, 436-3200. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Oh, my goodness, we are just about ready to have the lovely Rita Ramsey. I'm waiting for that phone to ring in the background. I know we're going to hear it. And I'll give you a synopsis of what we're going to have coming up for the rest of the morning. At 10:10 this morning, we're going to talk to Scott Muir from Declo Junior High School. Our business salute this morning at 10:23 is going to be Randy Wynn of Tires West. And then at 10:32 this morning, We're going to have Brian Maloney coming on our program, and literally he is going to talk to us all about the people that were in the Trump administration and even before the Trump administration and the Mueller investigation and how it's just turned into a great big spider web. So he's going to talk about that at 10:30 this morning. But right now we're going to talk to a wonderful, very well-educated lady. Rita Ramsey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good. Thank you.
I was padding time till I knew you called in. Hey, by the way, Rita, I'm just absolutely not going to back up. I'm not going to make any apologies for anything I said yesterday or the day before, but I think that it's absolutely ridiculous that the news media refuses to call this Muslim terrorist killer what he is. There is no mention of it, and they have avoided telling the people the truth.
Well, this is why we keep having those kind of attacks, is because they know they're getting leverage from the press. And when the media will not pay attention or acknowledge it, it's kind of like, well, we can just do anything we want, and it almost seems to me like they think it's a game. I mean, these terrorist attacks, that's what they are, is just a I dare you type of a thing. And, I mean, who really wants to be killed for doing a bunch of stuff? I mean, most people, it's kind of like, I'll do it so that it's inconspicuous, maybe they won't catch me, and that's their game. But these terrorists, they want the notoriety. They want to be acknowledged for it and everything else. And when the news media won't do it, it's kind of like, well, let's see how far we can go before somebody will finally acknowledge it.
Rita, this is, I don't know what it's going to take to get the American public to understand that the ISIS attitude and the ISIS playbook, if you will, is here. It's all around this United States, whether it's New York State or whether it's over in Oregon. They are plotting. They are training. They are absolutely ready for a jihad, and we are so doggone naive. I just wonder what's going to happen.
Well, it's going to take something really, really drastic before very many people will take note of it. You know, this back and forth with Trump and some of the, even the GOP senators is absolutely ridiculous when he made the statement of, you know what, we need to eliminate that diversity visa program, which is bad in its own way, but they need to totally say this is it, this is the end of it. And for Democrats and even some Republicans to start pushing back on it, they're just crazy. You can tell that it's all a money thing in their pocket, and that's all they want. It doesn't mean that, you know, we want to keep you safe or your best interest is what I'm trying to do here as your representative. They just don't care. It's money in their pocket from various different entities, and why terrorist entities would you know, be good for America, but that's just what they think. Well, they think, you know, we'll just keep on doing it, and it doesn't matter. And
well, Rita, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, and we've never really talked about this in the past, but I want to really get into it this morning. Why? I'll underline that word again. Why do we need diversity of all these different problems included into our society? Why do we need to bring diversity in as far as these people with no jobs, no training, they're on our welfare system? What good is diversity in that sense going to do?
Well, first of all, it's not going to do any good. The second thing is all it does is break the back of America, and it will break America down. And you've got some people that are stupid enough to think that it doesn't really matter. And that's not true. It does, because if the people who come here do not assimilate and make America better, they will make it worse. And we're at a point now where the majority of those that come in here have no intention of assimilating or making America great, or wanting to do things that will help America to grow and be better. The majority of people that are coming here I think the majority come here because it's like, whoa, I've got a free pass. I got a free meal. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And then there's those that come knowing that it's not going to have any kind of implication towards them if they're here and they are wanting to destroy us. That's what their thing is.
Well, I guess I'm going to ask you and be very blunt. My animus against Twin Falls and the City Council and the CSI Refugee Center, etc., is very plain. I've been very honest about it. I don't understand diversity in our culture, which is being diminished and fragmented. What good is a fragmentation of culture going to do when we that have lived here, we lose our culture? What good is that?
Well, there's no good at all, and that deal in Twin Falls and this immigration thing, it's all about money and what goes into local pockets that say it's okay and make way for it to work. That's all it is a money grab, and I still think, and nobody will convince me unless there is a study shown that I'm wrong, is that money goes into pockets and there's no accountability for it. There is no accountability on who gets the money and what. And then what those people who get the money do is they're supposed to set up and get advocates for these people that are coming in. And there are really some people who have been sucked into it thinking, well, this is really good because these people are refugees and they're mistreated in their country, and and some of that may be true, but it's all about bleeding hearts. And it's more, you get the bleeding heart people that really think that they've got a good cause going on, but the people behind it that are bringing it in, that are approving it, that are fighting it, are on the money end of it, and they're pocketing a ton of money, and there's no accountability, which means they're not paying taxes on it. They're just getting that money. And that's why they're pushing back so far, because if they weren't getting money, it would be kind of like, well, maybe we ought to, see what the community says about it and everything else. Instead, they're pushing it right down our throats because it's money in their pocket.
Well, and I guess maybe some of the people that have been very gutless in criticism of me and my remarks on my program, because they never call in, they always wait to call on my cell phone after the program or send an email, they're not very brave, that President Trump now, and I'm going to use round figures, I'm not going to use exact figures, but, we have taken in over 80,000 refugees per year. Now Donald Trump, our president, has said, no, wait a minute, that's way too many. We're going to cut the numbers down to about 45,000 or even less. But you know something, Rita, when they come in and they receive free housing and they get health care, education, and we're footing the bill, I'm a little bit miffed this morning that I'm supposed to keep having a full gallon of milk of human kindness in my refrigerator when the money is coming out of my pocket and yours.
Well, that's just it. Enough people aren't squawking about it, and until people start really squawking about it, it's not going to change. The big problem is if you squawk about it very much, you've got the news media, and our local one in Twin Falls is one that's right at the very top, that will sit there and say, you're just an idiot, you're just mean, you're this, and you're that. And all of a sudden it becomes how mean you are, not, well, we've checked into it, and it is a big money pot for some people, and it's coming out of the pockets of everybody, and we don't even know who these people are. I'm not opposed to people coming here and wanting to assimilate and saying, I can make it on my own if you just give me an opportunity.
There you go.
But these people that come in here and they just want all the free stuff, and that's what they're here for, a bunch of those people on the refugees programs are the ones who want to come here to harm us.
I am, the word diversity, it just leaves me chilled, and I'm not in favor of the word diversity or the application of such in my community. I want to talk to you about something else quickly. The cowards in the news media and the quick run to the other side to basically CYA, and you know what that stands for, their news agencies. Right after this happened in New York with the Muslim terrorist killer mowing down 8 people and severely injuring over a dozen others, NBC came out and they were afraid, on behalf of NBC News, that there would be a Muslim backlash. Here are dead people laying in the street and others mutilated, having to have amputations, arms and legs, and NBC is worried about the backlash to Muslims? What's going on here?
Well, that's the whole thing that's really sad about this, is you don't know what side they stand on. It seems to me that if you were a patriotic American, you would be concerned about Americans. I'm not saying to disregard anybody else, but, you know, the word of integrity is doing the right thing when it's not popular. And they don't care. They only want to do what they think is going to be popular, and it's starting to backlash with them, as well as many other medias. You've seen the ratings of their, you know, the viewership and everything else just go totally down. And it's just a sad thing that there aren't people who are really concerned about this. And when you start saying, well, the Muslims, it's like, you know what, I think there's a lot of good Muslims who know there has to be a reformation, and they are just disgusted about what's going on with these terrorists, but they don't dare say anything because they're going to be first on the list to go down.
Yeah, but that's the point, though, Rita, that needs to be made. If people had any kind of intestinal fortitude like Zuhdi Jasser, and he's been on my program, you've seen him on national news, he has stepped up to the plate and said the Muslim community has got to stand up and criticize, critique, and correct what's going on in the Muslim community, but they're not.
Well, that's exactly right. And what happens is when they try to do it, they're just ignored. There was a story about a top imam in New York City that warned de Blasio about the terror threats. He said, you know, we've sent him warnings. I've gone and talked to him and done everything else, that this is getting out of hand. I mean, he's an imam. And de Blasio basically just brushed him off like, oh, get out of my face. You know, you're just...
Doesn't it...
he's the bad guy.
Doesn't it make you wonder, I got to ask you this right there at that juncture, doesn't it make you wonder how, underline the word how, a person with a severe lack of intelligence and public relations ability, Bill de Blasio, could be the mayor of the biggest city? I mean, New York City. How did the guy ever get in there?
Well, it's just one of those things where he promised that he would do everything, and you get a bunch of people who don't know any of the facts or anything else and saying, oh, we're going to get a free ride, let's show up and vote, and we'll get him in there. He's a big communist, and he does not care about America, let alone New York City. He does not care one bit.
I want to ask you about the general feeling that was portrayed from that hospital room yesterday. And I got to tell you, I was so mad. Deanne can tell you, I wanted to take off one of my boots and throw it right through our 60-inch screen because I just would like to get my hands on this Muslim terrorist killer. He sat in his hospital bed yesterday. Giddy and gleeful were the words that were used about his killing 8 people and destroying the lives of a dozen others. His only remorse was that he hadn't killed more. This is sick.
Well, it is, and for somebody to actually put that on TV so that it glorified what he was doing is just disgusting. But the other part that's bad is we live in a society that they take no responsibility for actions. And as long as we're in a society that we don't make people pay for consequences of their actions, it's just going to get worse and worse, and we see it getting worse and worse all the time. Same thing goes with that deal on Bergdahl. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but they need to make sure that he pays for the problems that he caused.
Yes.
And that is not letting him off after he spends a year or so more in jail.
I agree with you. I'm very concerned about what's going to happen in that case, but I want to get into a little bit more about this absolute atrocity in New York City. This isn't going to stop, Rita. now that they have the idea of using automobiles, trucks, etc., as killers, there's no way you're going to regulate it. I mean, the left can come out and say, oh, we got to have gun control, this and that. How are you going to have truck and vehicle control? And look at the mayhem that this causes.
Well, you're not going to be able to control it, that's for sure, and that makes more people at risk. The big problem is that, and this was an article that I read, is we need to talk about something that no one will talk about, and that's what's creeping up behind us. Nobody's paying attention is we've got to change our current immigration system. We just have to change it. And right now we've got, half the people in the Senate and probably at least half, if not more, in the Congress, that it's kind of like, no, let's just leave it alone. It's okay. And that's like baloney. It's got to be changed or we're not going to be safe.
Absolutely. Rita, stand by just a moment. I want to get a weather forecast in, and then I want to come back and I want to talk to you about one of your favorite subjects, Hillary Clinton. Stand by. Don't forget our weather brought to you this hour by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. These are wonderful people that really know the accounting business, and they've provided accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. The best in tax return preparation, tax planning, bookkeeping services, retirement planning, and so much more. I'm telling you, they've got 2 offices in Burley and Rupert, and they really want to thank all the people that brought their business to them this last year. And a reminder, don't forget, it's about time to get your 1099s and W-2s out. They can help. They will help. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Make sure you have your galoshes ready, and you might want to make sure you grab out your snow shovels because weather is a-changing. Here is your weather forecast for Zep at the Ranch. Today, not too shabby. Partly sunny skies, a little bit on the breezy side, high of 60. Tonight, more clouds are going to be rolling in, bringing along with it a chance of rain showers, low of 42. Now, tomorrow is the turning of the tide, as it were. We're looking at about a 70% chance of rain showers throughout the day, high of 53. That's going to carry over tomorrow night with a low of 37. Saturday, we have a 70% chance of rain showers in the lower elevations, snow showers up in the higher elevations, high of 44. Snow showers for Saturday night with a low of 29. That's going to carry over through Sunday and Monday. 30% chance of snow showers are in the forecast. Highs are going to be in the mid-30s to low 40s. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Boy, she does a good job of putting the weather together. Gina, thank you. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company sponsoring our weather. And like I said, the very best of CPAs working for you. Don't forget, too, tax planning before the end of the year. Get a hold of them today in Burley, 878-7000, in Rupert, 436-5607. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Rita, she just won't go away. I mean, she's like a real bad cold in the wintertime. She just keeps hanging on. I can't believe it. Every single day there's a new soundbite with Hillary. How does she maintain this level of consistency with this stupid media?
That's just exactly right. Stupid media. You've got people who think that, if we weigh in with Hillary, we're going to get a headline that nobody else has, and so you just got a bunch of idiots that are thinking that they can keep this alive. The thing that's funny, and I mentioned this yesterday, is to my husband, we were talking about it, is the Democrats really think that if they could just get rid of Trump, that Hillary would be president.
Oh, my gosh.
And I think that's what the media seems to think, too. Well, if we just keep pushing it, she'll be the president. It's kind of like, you don't really understand the process, do you?
Well, that's the whole thing. You've touched on it that is very worthy of discussion. These imbeciles on the left that don't understand the process, don't understand the Constitution, don't understand what has to be done, what needs to be done legally, they have no clue what's going on. And yes, you're right. Many of these brainless twits are saying, oh, we get Trump out of there, we'll just wheel Hillary in. They don't understand.
I think they think this is like a race like you would have in the Olympics or maybe at a college game or something, that if the winner is disqualified, then automatically the runner-up is the one who's the winner.
Yeah.
That's not the way that it goes with our elections. So I keep thinking that's what they're thinking. They're so blinded and so mad about the way things happened that they won't look at it and say, you know what, we ought to just quit screaming about it, because if we get Trump out of there, we're just going to get Pence. And if we got Pence out of there, we'd get Ryan. And so they just don't understand the way that it works. Hillary is not going to be the president by default, period.
I got a postcard. I'm trying to find it for you, to read it to you. It came last week in the mail. I don't know who sent it, but they said they were attending meetings to sit down and finalize the concepts. That's the word, concepts, of getting an impeachment proceeding started for President Donald Trump. Then, a couple of days later, I got a phone call, and I did not know who this person was, and they said that we're putting, I'm assuming it's the same group, and they said, we're putting together meetings and concepts to impeach President Donald Trump. And I said, okay, great, fine. On what grounds? What did he do, and what laws did he break? And then these people that have the knowledge of a billy goat, they sit there and they stumble and they stammer and pretty quick hung up the phone. I mean, really, this is insane what's going on.
They are just so blind. They're just so blind they can't see anything. It's just ridiculous how blind they can be, that they can't take common sense and say, okay, we lost this time, we'll work on seeing if we can't build up a base. Instead, they're just doing stuff that they're losing their base. And they're losing it big time, and they really think that the elections next year are going to get rid of all of the Republicans and put all Democrats in.
Yeah.
I mean, they just don't have a clue. It's really sad to see how blind they are and how they will not acknowledge what happened and say, okay, we got to go forward here.
I got to ask you, I've only got about 3 minutes left, but I want you to respond to this. Michelle Obama also is back seeking more news coverage, and she was taped while she was at a meeting, and she was bashing men in general, saying that women are entitling men into the positions that they achieve. And I got to thinking, if she's bashing men so much, she must be thoroughly disgusted with the wuss that she married.
I think she should be thoroughly disgusted with herself, because she was the one who propelled him into politics.
Yes.
Let's just face it. So she is as much to blame as anybody. She just doesn't want to take responsibility for it. The other thing is there are women who have pushed men along, and they have made, made good decisions and got to higher places because there were women behind them, backing them and pushing them, and kind of like the mom with the Eagle Scout, and the wife with the successful husband. But there's nothing wrong with that, because women do not have all the power. There is still a little bit of power with others, and it's not some mom coming in here saying, this is what I want done, and it's going to be done. I mean, that might happen at home, but it doesn't happen in public.
Well, the one thing I mentioned last hour, if you were listening, there's quite a few ladies involved in politics that I have the utmost respect for. And if you'll remember, I was really hoping that she would have run for president years ago. And that, of course, is Condoleezza Rice. I think that lady is one very sharp lady. She knows politics, I think, better than almost anyone else, and yet nobody ever brings her name up. They always criticize us as men when we condemn what's going on with the left, but yet I'm really applauding Condoleezza Rice for her achievements, accomplishments, and what she did politically.
Well, that's because women that have brains and women who have common sense are a threat to those idiots that are screaming and hollering, because they don't have any common sense. They're not smart. They're just riding on coattails of somebody else. And it's sad that they would start making, comments about how difficult it is for women to climb up out through the ceiling and so on and so on and so on, because if they would just do it, they could.
Absolutely. Whew. I feel like we've been cleansed. Thank you, Rita. You really straightened out the world, and I look forward to every Thursday that you're on. Please have a nice weekend, and it looks like you might even encounter some snowflakes.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right, take care. Rita Ramsey, thank you very much. Nice lady. It's that time of the morning. I'm a little hungry. Had that little bitty bowl of cereal at 4:30 this morning, and I am right now hungry and starving to death, but I know some great places to go, like the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Pumpkin shakes, eggnog shakes, mint chocolate shakes. Oh, give me a shake. And don't forget 2 chicken fried steak sandwiches and Farmer Brown burgers. Oh, you're going to love the great food, the fries and the special sauce, everything at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, how about Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley? Pumpkin empanadas. Delicious. And they've got the street tacos and the new pork burritos. Oh, my, they're good. Breakfast burritos with scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, combination of both, cheese, onions, tomatoes, sauce. Great. You're going to love the food at the Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. And now let's move over to Burgers Etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. There again, here we go. Starting just this last couple of days, hot soup, different flavor every day. Monday, cream of broccoli. Tuesday, cream of potato. Wednesday, chicken wild rice. That's one of my favorites. The list goes on. Great food, great servers at Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. Moving over to Steve-O's. Hello, Steve-O's. Food made the way you love it. At 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. And they've also got great soups, and they got a new salad like I've been telling you, the Chaos Salad, chicken breast with bacon, pickles, jalapeno peppers, and all the goodies. You're going to love it. And buffalo burgers, and listen, really good people. And by the way, a note, they're going to be closed on Thanksgiving Day. Don't forget that. They're open Monday to Saturday, 11 to 9, Steve-O's in Heyburn. And last but not least, Doc's Pizza. Woo, yeah. 514 6th Street in Rupert. They've got the loaded Idaho baked potatoes and all the fixings every Wednesday during lunch. And they've got all the pizzas, and they've got a great salad bar. Oh, my goodness, and really nice people. You get in there today and enjoy pizza the way it was meant to be at Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. Well, old Wheels, he's chomping on the bit. We're going to go to the CBS News and come back after the news. Cache County School Days, our business salute. We've got all kinds of things cooking this next hour. Zeb at the Ranch, don't you go away. I'll be back in about 7. Oh, my goodness sakes, good morning as we roll into our last hour this morning. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations telling you get ready for wintertime driving. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Did you hear that news story just a few moments ago? A woman won $1 million lottery ticket, and after taxes, she only gets $417,000. $1 million after taxes, $417,000. Rip-off? Yeah, buddy, I guess. Anyhow, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget, next Tuesday is Election Day, November 7th, and we know a gentleman that's running for the Burley City Council. His name is Ralph Carlson, and he wants to work for you. He has an understanding of how businesses work, and it's helped him understand the companies that he has worked for, and now he wants to apply that to help the city of Burley. And he said Burley's a growing community, and it's got a lot of challenges ahead, and he wants to be there to try to assist. Ralph Carlson, candidate for Burley City Council. Don't forget to vote next Tuesday. Ralph Carlson for Burley City Council, paid for by Ralph Carlson. Don't forget, too, Ramsey Heating and Electric, along with Lennox with the home comfort systems. Oh, yeah. You might get up to a $1,600 rebate on a new Lennox home comfort system. All you gotta do is call Ramsey Heating and Electric at 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, saving you money. Oh, and by the way, too, John Anderson running for the Burley City Council. And John, of course, a former mayor of Burley for 8 years, and his main goal is to keep Burley a great, great place to live and raise a family. And he's very, very, very concerned about water rights for the city, and he knows water rights, and he wants to serve on the Burley City Council. And also he's concerned about the infrastructure and that citizens are charged a fair rate. Don't forget, when you go to the polls next Tuesday, November 7th, vote for John Anderson for Burley City Council, paid for by John Anderson. Oh, in just a few minutes, we are going to go with our Cassia County School Days, so stand by for that. But right now, I also want to acknowledge our sponsors of Cassia County School Days. I'm kind of shifting papers because I lost everything a minute ago. Don't forget, we'd like to thank A Child's World at 1308 Overland Avenue in Burley. They've got all kinds of fall dresses, lady, 20% off. And the best place to buy a baby or a birthday gift. And don't forget, always free gift wrapping. So stop in. It's ready to get ready for holiday gift shopping right there at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also bringing you School Days in Cassia County, Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 677-8888. For the life-saving colonoscopies, cataract surgery, hand pain, knee pain, they can help, they will help at Ambulatory Surgery Center, 677-8888. Along with, I stumbled on that number, I apologize, I bit my tongue, 677-8888. There you go. Along with The Child's World, bringing you School Days in Cassia County. And right now we're going to go on over to Declo Junior High. Man that's been on this program before. What do you mean? He's not there?
No, sir. He still hasn't called in yet since you and I talked.
Well, he had better, and let me see if I can find a cell number for him. And I have 647-8889. Call and jiggle his attention.
You said 8889, correct?
No, I said 8819. If I said the other, I was wrong. Okay. Thank you.
I will call him then.
He is supposed to be on the program right now, Scott Murin. I certainly hope he calls in. That'll give me just a little bit of time to also mention the great big Bennett Boys Auction Service. And, of course, they've got a ripping good sale coming up on this Saturday. Don't forget the Penny and Courtney Honhorst auction, starting at 11 o'clock Saturday, November 4th, located in Wendell, Idaho, 3012 South, 2200 East. Look for the sales signs, and they'll have lunch right there on the grounds. Bennett Boys Auction Service, and this sale's going to have a sheep wagon and livestock items, sporting items, tractor, ATVs, all kinds of guns. Boy, they've got a great selection of guns over there. Antiques, lawn and garden items. This is going to be a great sale put on by the Bennett Boys Auction Service, where there is never any sale, too big or too small. The Bennett Boys can sell them all. Joe Bennett, 539-0111. Bennett Boys Auction Service, Penny and Courtney Honhorst auction, coming up this Saturday, November 4th, over in Wendell. Wheels, did you get him?
I haven't, but we do have the lovely Miss Debbie Critchfield on, so that way you guys can talk until they're able to find him.
Okay, well, lovely Miss Debbie Critchfield. Where can our little Scott Muir be?
That's a very excellent question. I even reminded him this morning, and so as I was listening, I thought I'd call in, and we were going to talk about parent-teacher conferences, so it's a good topic.
Okay, I'm giggling because there's something I want to say real bad, but I'm not going to. Anyway, parent-teachers conferences, when are they and what good do they serve?
Today and tomorrow we have conferences, and on Friday we actually don't have school at all. And so our teachers stay late into the evening on Thursday night to accommodate all types of schedules. And then they're there part of the morning tomorrow, but we don't have students in class. And so if you haven't received some type of communication or note that says this is the time or this is what we're doing, this is a good reminder to make that contact. There is no more important partnership in the educational life of a student than the parent and the teacher.
Okay.
And there's no better advocate for a child than their parent. And they understand their child and maybe some of their learning needs and so forth. And so when you have the individual that is trained in strategies, sit down with the parent who knows their child well, that really is a powerful combination into making that child the most successful it can be.
Okay, you know, I remember vividly, even though I'm an old man, I can remember way back to my elementary school days when parent-teachers conferences came up. I got to admit, I was really sweating. I had to go to the store and buy more deodorant because I was afraid what Mrs. Kiltz was going to tell my mom and dad. But boy, oh boy, my parents never missed a one, whether it was elementary school, whether it was high school. And are you finding the parents are really turning out like they should?
No. We have pretty good attendance from parents at our elementary level, and it drops off for the junior high level, and it really drops off at the high school level, which is interesting because especially the junior high school level, those are some very precarious years in the development of students and kids, and in some ways we need our parents to be more engaged at those levels than they are when their child is young. And maybe it's just the structure of how the schools are. There's more than one teacher, and so it can take a little bit longer to get at our secondary level to get to those teachers and have those conversations. But it is so vitally important that parents make that time and develop that relationship. And frankly, by the time, we're just about 10 weeks, I think this is our 10th week in school, hopefully this isn't the first interaction that a parent has had with that teacher. And that shouldn't be the time that a teacher says, well, your child isn't doing well. There needs to have been communication much ahead of the parent-teacher conference.
What, for those parents out in the audience that have never gone to a parent-teacher conference, do you suppose that they're a little bit inhibited about going and visiting with the teacher? Are they using excuses they don't have the time? Or what do you think the reason is that parents today aren't as involved as they used to be?
I think time is probably one consideration. I do think that the overall kind of structure of how we've done parent-teacher conferences also doesn't lend itself. No parent wants to be talked at.
Right.
You don't want to go and sit down and have the teacher do all of the talking. It really needs to be a conversation between the parent and the teacher on how to make that child successful. And so I always encourage parents, talk to your child before you go. Have an idea or a sense of how they're doing in the class and what they think of the class. Are there things that the child thinks could be done better or are challenging to that particular child? And then you want to have that conversation. We try to encourage our teachers to make it a conversation and not just a time where a parent comes in, teacher does all the talking, 10 minutes are up, thank you, goodbye. There's nothing great about that kind of a scenario.
Let me say this, Debbie, and I mean this with all kindness, but this scenario is true. I think a lot of times when a student is not doing well in a class, it is too easy for the parents to criticize the student and or the teacher to criticize the student. But I think if the parents take the time to go to a parent-teacher conference and honestly analyze the teacher, maybe for their own shortcomings, then the parents will have a better appraisal of really what's making the kid tick or not tick.
I think that is good advice. Hopefully parents and adults know that that you should never have your first grader be the only source of information coming that you know from that classroom.
Right.
that you've had other communication either with the principal or with the teacher themselves. And maybe it's not always on the negative side of things. It can also be something, an activity or a lesson, something that your child spoke about or that really made an impact. Have that communication with the teacher also. That type of feedback helps inform their teaching, their lessons, how they interact with students in general. Oh, that was effective. I'm going to make sure I do that again.
Is there a kind of a format for the parent-teachers conferences, like from the elementary to the junior high to the high school, to go to the various rooms? I mean, is it quite time-consuming as far as going to, let's say, a high school, at Burley High School or whatever, and having the parents visit with the various teachers, or do the teachers try to keep it within a certain time frame?
I do think that it can be time-consuming. I know that it can be time-consuming, particularly at the high school level, where your child, has 8 different teachers or whatever, and you've got other parents that are competing for time with that teacher, and so maybe you're out in the hall longer. We do encourage our teachers to be timely, and if there are conversations that maybe are going to take a little bit longer, if you've got parents waiting, have a follow-up appointment with that parent, or if a parent can't make it in these 2 days for a variety of reasons, maybe their work schedule doesn't coordinate well, have some type of email, hey, I wasn't able to get in there. Are there things that I should know, or do you want me to come in, or here's some things I'd like you to know? There's all sorts of forms of communication.
Absolutely. Now, how many times during the course of the year do you try to have a parent-teachers conference?
Spring and fall.
Spring and fall.
And fall and spring, that makes sense with the school year. But now and then we'll go again in March.
Okay, because I was just wondering if maybe there's not a necessity as kind of a mid-year, which would be like after the Christmas break, etc., to maybe kind of have an analyze fact of where they are, what's progressed since the last parent-teacher conference, and before it gets into the spring and the kids are clamoring to get outside the door.
I don't disagree with that at all. In fact, our data would support the fact that our spring parent-teacher conferences are very under-attended. And I think a lot of it has to do with, well, we've only got, 10 more weeks of school left. If I don't know about it now, I probably don't need to worry about it type of thing. And so I think that would be a great conversation within our community and within the administration to say, does it make sense to have something that isn't so far apart from the first one?
Pardon my naive question on this, but do you find that the parents of seniors in high school tend to not show up as much as the others because basically they say to themselves, well, Jerry's all done for this school, he's headed out?
Absolutely. We'll have, occasionally if you have, a parent that just is very much a part of their child's education and their child is doing well, they're not as worried about showing up. And I hate for that stigma to be attached to these conferences, that it's a time for the parent to come and the teacher to tell you everything that's wrong with your child. Yeah. That isn't right. That's not how it should be.
Right, absolutely. Debbie, I mean this. You bailed me out of a big wreck this morning, and please, when you talk to Scott Muir, you might tell him very politely that he owes you and I a steak dinner, and we will not take no for an answer.
Hey, I'm all over that.
Okay. Thank you for being on Cassia County School Days, and it's really nice to visit with the Cassia County Schools Communications Officer, Debbie Critchfield. God bless. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. I like that lady. She really does a good job. Hey, by the way, I've got some more people that are running for political office. And, of course, the big election is this next Tuesday. Don't forget Bryce Morgan running for Burley City Council. Here's a man that graduated from Burley High School, and he has a master's degree in business administration and bachelor's degree in accounting. And he's worked for the last 14 years in the transportation industry. Very fiscal conservative gentleman, believing in keeping family, business, and government out of debt. And he wants to work for the folks in Burley on the Burley City Council. Don't forget, next Tuesday when you go to the polls, vote for Bryce Morgan for Burley City Council, paid for by Bryce Morgan. You know, for a long time on this program, we've talked to you about Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. And we know so much about them. They've been on our program and visited and everything, and they really do offer personalized help for each person with more one-on-one care. And they've got somebody there for you 24 hours a day to help. And believe me, you've got somebody over there that's going to help do the laundry and the cooking and the cleaning and the bathing and the hair cutting. Someone is there all the time at Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. The number to call, and be sure and stop in and take a tour, 436-3200. That number again, 436-3200. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, they're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Right now we get a chance to talk to one of my dear friends, and I mean that. We've been friends for a long time. He's a Seattle Seahawks fan. I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, but not this year. We both feel the same, that they're overpaid, underworked prima donnas. Good morning, Randy Wynn at Tires West.
How are you today, Zeb?
I'm really good. Hey, by the way, what did you think of the World Series? I got to ask you that real quick.
Well, I was rooting for the Astros because I'm a Seattle Mariners guy, and they're in our division. And I've seen the Astros play a lot over the last few years, and knew they were pretty good, so I was rooting for them for sure. So
I got to be honest with you, Randy. I've always been a National League fan, but this year I turned coat on the National League because my Cubbies weren't in, and I went for the Astros. I love the attitude by a lot of the players and Altuve and the rest of them, but what sold me was Game 2 of the World Series when the camera panned down the sidelines of the teams, and almost all of the Astros were singing the national anthem.
Yeah, that's very refreshing. I mean, that's there's a lot of NFL players need to take a lesson from that because they're losing a lot of fans definitely right now, and that's really good to hear and see. So,
well, you're over at Tires West, one of the great locations of our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and you've got kind of an ominous note that says you better get ready for winter driving. Tell us about it.
Well, we're kind of in the mode of now people getting their vehicles ready for the snow that hopefully is coming. But yeah, we have plenty of snow tires in stock now, studless and studded tires. So we have a Toyota Observe, which is our studless alternative. If people don't want the noise of the studs, they can run them all year round or later in the spring if they want. So that's a pretty good option too, besides the studded snow tire. And obviously batteries. We're starting to put a lot more batteries in now that the weather is getting colder, and we've got 50-month, 60-month batteries all the way to 84-month warranty batteries in stock as well. And then, of course, chains. We're starting to sell quite a few chains, especially the long-haul truckers. We're doing a lot of that in the dairies and the feedlots as well. These loaders and these feed tractors want chains, obviously, because it's getting muddier out there. And we hand make the loader and the tractor chains because they have a bigger loop, bigger chain loop, and these people tend to like them, and they worked really well for us. So,
absolutely.
Things going really well.
Absolutely. We're having a little trouble getting you on the phone, but if you could really hold that real still, Randy, real close, I think it's going to be all right. I have a question. If people aren't sure as to how good their current battery is, can they run in and have it tested and get rid of that thing and get a new one?
No, absolutely. Sure, yeah. We can put a load test on the battery. That's part of our pre-trip safety inspection that we talk about. If people want to come in and get that done, one of the things we do is put a load test on your battery, make sure there's no corrosion on it, clean the cables, just check overall health of the battery, see the age of it. And if it needs replaced, we sure have the batteries in stock to do it, yeah. Especially when the cold weather comes, that's when batteries tend to go bad on people, for sure.
Absolutely. Now, I've got a question about tread designs. I mean, how do people in the tire business, and you especially, you know more about tires. I've really been impressed with your knowledge about the tread design, what's going to do well for certain driving conditions. How do they design the different tread designs for, like, the snow, the ice, and the muck and everything for passenger car tires, SUVs, etc.? How do they know what's really going to get the grip on the road?
Well, they do a lot of testing for sure, Zeb. Back in the Midwest, they have a tire testing facility, and they do a lot of tests on different types of road conditions. And then there's obviously a lot more siping, a lot more cuts in the tread on these studded snow tires, or any snow tire, in fact, whether it's studless or not. Siping's big. It just in the tread design's a little more aggressive, a little harder. So different tread designs, different rubber compounds they put in it definitely helps the usage of the tire on slick roads.
Well, right now is the time to get ready for winter driving, and how long we preach this, I bet you a lot of people wait till the last minute, and then I've been by your place at Tires West. Woo, you people are busy.
Well, we try to, yeah. We try to. We were really busy through harvest. Now the beets are out of the ground. Yeah, we're fully focused on getting people's vehicles ready for the winter. And, yeah, if you come in, all the stores would love to see you come in, do a check on your car, see if you need anything. We can, again, like I said, do a test on the battery, look at the brakes for the winter, whatever needs done. We're glad to help everyone that needs help. So,
you know, Randy, the big thing, and I always tell this every day, is whether it's the tires, whether it's the brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, whatever, it all goes back to a 7-letter word of service. I'm very impressed with the service of the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Well, I appreciate that. I always tell you every time. My dad always said, everybody sells tires. It's service what sets you apart. And, yeah, last thing people want to do is spend time in a tire store. So we try to get people in and out as quickly as possible. Sometimes we're busy and it's harder, but we try our best to give the best customer service we can, sure, at all the stores.
Well, this man's been a good friend of ours for a long, long time, and 7 locations: Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family over in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and here right on the phone, Randy on Overland and Burley. Randy, God bless you. On behalf of all the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, thank you, because doing the right thing matters.
Yeah, thank you, Zeb. You take care. Have a good day.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Randy Wint, good guy. Really, they're all good people. Very good people serving you at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Right now, we're going to send it back over to our old buddy Wheels, and we're going to be back with Brian Maloney in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Welcome back to our last half hour of Zeb at the Ranch on this Thursday, and we're going to go to the phone line right now and welcome the editor-in-chief of Media Equalizer, longtime radio host and political analyst, Brian Maloney. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. That is quite an intro. Appreciate it very much.
Well, you haven't sent your check yet, but I'll look for it in the mail next week.
It's on the way. It's in the mail.
Okay. Hey, I got to tell you something, Brian. You've been on the program with me before, and looking at the status of the sewage pond in Washington, D.C., my German grandmother, if she were still alive today, she would go, ay, 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 ay. It just is pitiful what's going on with the Mueller investigation and the so-called trying to get the little guys to go get the big guy, which is Trump. What do you think's going on back there?
Well, it's a partisan witch hunt, and you're absolutely right that the swamp is dirtier than ever. And, you know, I had someone ask me, well, how deep is that swamp? And I said, well, D.C. is just simply a swamp, and there's nothing else to it. You drain the swamp, and there'll be nothing left. It is entirely a swamp. So it's a perfect analogy when Trump made it, but it understated the problem. So I don't know if people across America realize the depth, the extent to which corruption prevails there. It is beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Even people who think they've heard it all, it's worse.
But, you know, let's take a look at this analytically, and you do a good job on this, or I wouldn't have had you back on the program. After the Mueller investigatory team was appointed to go and study any possible Russian collusion, it seems like they haven't found any, but they're not going to give up on that. They're going to keep digging, and they're going to keep naming people to indictments like Paul Manafort and also this Papadopoulos and others. But at the same time, why are they, in my opinion, overlooking an obvious Russian collusion with the Uranium One case, etc., with the Clinton Foundation and Hillary Clinton? What's going on here?
Well, I think that's a very good point. I mean, there is no outrage on the left over that. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it. In many cases, leftists are unaware of it because the news media and social media filters out that kind of news. They don't see it in the first place. So we're living in a weird world now where that kind of thing just vanishes into thin air, of course, which is what the media wants. And then essentially fake investigation into a fake crime that they can't even find evidence of. I mean, what did they come back with? Stuff from 10 years ago related to Ukraine before Trump ever even thought of running for president this time around. And that's what, and you know, if they had anything big, if they would have come out with it right off the top. They would have done shock and awe. They would have come out with bombshell stuff, and the news media would have been having a feeding frenzy over it. And instead, they came out with next to nothing. It really did.
What about this deal? Let's tie the loose ends together a little bit with Paul Manafort. During the Trump campaign for the presidency, of course, he was standing, he being Manafort, in the back of a lot of pictures, a lot of media blitzes, etc. How much influence, what do you think about Paul Manafort and Donald Trump?
Well, that's a question I'm asked all the time. What do you think about this person or that person and where they stand with Trump? And I think that the answer to that is no one really knows from one day to the next who has Trump's ear. It never really sticks for very long. I do know one or two people that do have his ear every single day. I'm not going to say who they are, but they're good people that you'd like to hear about. But at the same time, you know, so that's the whole thing. So the left is trying to rewrite history, to recreate it, to say now that this person or that person was far more important than they ever actually were in the campaign. So that's what they want to do. And then create that fake narrative that, see, that person was very important, very closely tied to Trump. So if you turn on MSNBC tonight, you're going to see Rachel Maddow hyperventilating over how big of a scandal this really is, and, you know, bigger than you know, and big things are to come here. And then every night they can tease that and preview what's big coming tomorrow, and then it never comes. And then another day, and people just hang on, you know, they're waiting for it every day. It's not going to happen.
Well, conversely, though, again, Brian, with your ability to kind of map this out for us, conversely, when you talk about Manafort or somebody down the food chain like Papadopoulos, when you've got two high-profile people on the left, the Podesta brothers, Tony and John Podesta, with the Clintons, the Clinton Foundation, etc., I mean, my goodness, there's all kinds of things the media should be questioning about their involvement with money laundering or illicit campaigns with Russia and possibly the Uranium One deal, and they're overlooking all that.
Well, they really are. The Podestas are the shadiest people probably ever to inhabit Washington. And that's saying something. It takes a lot to achieve that level, but they are the lowest of the low. And you're absolutely right. You're not seeing the outrage there from the left, and you never will. So these stories are buried. So we have a fundamentally dishonest, and this is the very basis for everything that I do at MediaEqualizer.com, is that the media, it's not just malpractice. It's not just dishonesty. It is just an outright theft of the country that is occurring every single day on the major networks, where they are essentially stealing America away from us one fake story at a time, one lie of omission at a time, because that's the biggest source of bias right now in a lot of cases, is lying by omission, by not covering major stories, as you're pointing to right there.
You know, I got to tell you that last hour I was sharing that over the course of the last couple of weeks, Brian, I've received postcards in the mail, unsigned postcards from people that are saying simply on the back of the postcard, Mr. Bell, we are going to take Trump down. He is going to be impeached. You'd better realize he is not going to stay as president. And I've got a lot of these. I mean, on what grounds and where are these people crawling out from underneath all these different rocks?
Well, you should save those postcards and frame them for when in 2 or 3 years Trump is still president, and you can have a good time, get a kick out of those. Because the bottom line is every time someone has predicted Trump's downfall, not only has he not been brought down, but he seems to reemerge stronger. And he does it through kind of reverse psychology, or he just basically threw the political science books, campaign books in the trash. And he does it in a way that always looks reckless, always looks damaging, and then you see the result and you realize it was ingenious. So I am not going to ever question that guy and what he's accomplished, because I think that's foolish. Absolutely.
Brian, when you look at the overall scope of politics today, and you look at the Republican Party, and you look at Donald Trump, you see a little bit more everyday cohesiveness coming back into the Republican Party with whether it's the Speaker of the House or whether it's other Republicans finally coming around and being more supportive of the president and some of his policies. But then you look over to the left, and you look at the Democrats, and aren't you surprised as a media analyst that maybe right now the Democrats haven't started to groom anybody or any name coming to the forefront that they're going to support in 2020?
Well, they think they have their people. That you're right. They're not really grooming anyone that has a real potential for national appeal. They've got Kamala Harris, who's the U.S. Senator from California, and they've got Elizabeth Warren, U.S. Senator from Massachusetts. And so you have those two, but neither one of those. Harris, they're going to try to create, they're going to turn her into this saint like they did with Obama. But you're right. I mean, they should be grooming someone with real broad national appeal, and they're not. So the Republicans are, I'm the conservative, but the Republicans, disappoint me time and again on so many issues, so many. You're right, they're, warming up a little bit, but what took them so long, and, why did it have to get this bad? And they're still really not offering, I'm talking about Republicans in Congress, still not doing a whole lot for us. They have an 8% approval rating. So, I think the two-party system's broken, and as conservatives, I mean, to me, the only real way to label myself is as an independent conservative, even though, when it comes down to voting, I'm going to vote Republican because I hold my nose. But I think that's where we're at in America today. We have a broken system. But the Democrats are far more broken than the Republicans. There's no question that they don't really know what their future is, other than trying to divide people up into different ethnic groups or gender groups or whatever they can make up this week. I don't think it's going to do it for them anymore. They are devoid of ideas other than this totalitarian government that nobody really wants.
Let me ask you this question, and I know every single night on the news, on some broadcast, there is going to be a sound clip and a video of something to do with Hillary Clinton. And of all the people that I've talked to on this program, and all the people and groups that I speak with and to during the course of the week, most everybody is saying, please, Hillary, fade away, go away, you have been way past your time, go away, you're damaging the Democratic Party. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's absolutely right. I think that on the left they do believe that, but she's not going to go away. And don't forget that one of the things that keeps the Clintons in their position of power within the Democratic Party is that they have all the money. They've been accumulating all the money through the most corrupt means imaginable for so long. I think crossing the Clintons even now is still extremely dangerous and will be for some time to come. So that's what keeps her from going away. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. The Clintons, and they have an insatiable collective ego that has to be, built up every single day. And so that's why they're stuck with her. But she's like an albatross, basically.
Mm-hmm. One final thought here, Brian, and it's something that I'm doing some of my own personal investigation on because I know some people connected with this story. What about the Uranium One story? Do you think this is going to be a millstone around the neck of the Clinton Foundation, Bill and Hillary, etc., and the Podestas, and it's going to grow to the point where, like cancer, it's really going to implode on them in the next couple of months?
Well, it depends on if you can get other media outlets to cover it. And so far, there's no sign they're going to touch it. So it seems like it's up to Fox and it's up to talk radio and the alternative media outlets to do something about this, to move this story forward. But, I mean, the rest of the media, they're not going to touch it. To them, it didn't happen. It doesn't exist. So that's what we're up against today. We live in these two different worlds. And so that's what makes it so difficult to have real scandals investigated. Instead, we have fake ones. So we're really in a mess.
I agree. Brian Maloney, thank you very much. Editor-in-Chief of Media Equalizer, a longtime radio host and political analyst, and I've enjoyed having you on. I'm going to call you back. I hope you'll consent to come on in the future.
I would love to. Thanks so much today.
All right, sir. Thank you. Brian Maloney, good guy and really understands the mess that we have in politics. Thank you very much. Whoa, we've got to get a weather forecast on here. Old Wheels is sitting there like a vulture with his hand poised on the button. And the weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. Or if you want to find out what they got in their retail meat department, go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Oh, delicious. I mean, they've got everything over there. I go back to the bratwurst and all the bacon, and they've got all the absolute delicious jerky and the sausages all the way to prime rib. I mean, these people are really, really good at Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Make sure you have your galoshes ready, and you might want to make sure you grab out your snow shovels because weather is a-changing. Here is your weather forecast for Zep at the Ranch. Today, not too shabby. Partly sunny skies, a little bit on the breezy side, high of 60. Tonight, more clouds are going to be rolling in, bringing along with it a chance of rain showers, low of 42. Now, tomorrow is the turning of the tide, as it were. We're looking at about a 70% chance of rain showers throughout the day, high of 53. That's going to carry over tomorrow night with a low of 37. Saturday, we have a 70% chance of rain showers in the lower elevations, snow showers up in the higher elevations, high of 44. Snow showers for Saturday night with a low of 29. That's going to carry over through Sunday and Monday. 30% chance of snow showers are in the forecast. Highs are going to be in the mid-30s to low 40s. That is your weather for Zep at the Ranch.
Oh, my goodness. Change is a-coming. Put on the bandana. Hey, listen, Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Oh, Don Scarrow and the crew, they hit a home run with this one. They've got delicious meats for you. All you got to do is give them a call or stop over there, 324-7657, or go to the location at 331 North Road, Jerome, Scarrows Meats. Absolutely changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. You know, I've been highlighting a couple things during the course of the week, and I want to mention this to you, that the 6th annual dinner and raffle for the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, Idaho Chapter 13.5, Veterans Helping Veterans, will be held on Saturday evening, November 4th, and this is going to be at the River Christian Fellowship Church on Falls Avenue in Twin Falls, 4002 North, 3300 East Falls Avenue. And really, they're trying to raise a lot of money for literally Veterans Helping Veterans. And they're going to have some great auction items, including some excellent gun raffles, 12-gauge shotgun, etc. So be sure and get your tickets and be there at the door. Absolutely wonderful people. Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, Idaho Chapter 13.5, 6th Annual Dinner and Raffle at the River Christian Fellowship Church on Falls Avenue in Twin Falls this Saturday night. And also at the Kimberly Middle School on Saturday night, a benefit for the Hopwood family. And I know Rodney and Carol, and I urge you to be in attendance. They're going to have a dinner and auction at the Kimberly Middle School this Saturday night, and the proceeds going to help the Hopwood family. Really good people. We just had on the air a little bit ago, of course, our old buddy Randy Wynn with your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and with the forecast that Gina had just a moment ago. Woo-hoo-hoo! Sounds like it's going to chill up, and we might even see some angel dandruff. Well, get ready for wintertime driving at all 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Like Randy was saying, they've got tire chains, they've got all the new batteries, and they've got all the tires for the slick roads, the ice, the mush, the snow, everything else. Tires like the Himalaya SUV tire starting at just $129, improved winter traction, get you where you're going. Along with the Observe tire, outstanding in ice and snow for your automobile. So stop in and see them today, the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I have to leave and go to a meeting, and I've got to be there right on time. And I want to urge everybody to tune in next Monday. We've got a gangbuster program next Monday. We've got Megan Barth coming on the program talking about this mess, the cesspool, actually, back in New York with the Muslim terrorist killer. And we've got other great people. The Pacific Legal Foundation going to be on the air talking about a property dispute that you're not going to believe. And then also Frosty Woolridge. Those are just some of the great people we've got scheduled for this next Monday, November 6th. I want to leave you with this. We are every day on K-Bar, 12:30 a.m., and then streaming live on the internet service, ZebBell.com. And we're very proud of what we've accomplished here on this program, but we want to thank you, the listeners, for all your support. Thank you very much. We're going to be back here next Monday at 8:06 to 11 right here on Zeb at the Ranch. And I talked to Wheels a little bit ago, and he's going to play some patriotic music up till CBS News, and I'm going to hit the highway. God bless you and your family. Have a great week. Wheels, take care of yourself, buddy. Thank you very much.